Hey, everybody. I remember when I first interviewed members of my family about um, their beliefs and their traditions. And I have to admit, I was nervous and I was really uncomfortable uh, right from the very start. Coming from more than one faith tradition, that is, being both Catholic and Jewish, um, made the process a lot more challenging. So I decided that I would have to focus only on one side of my family, at least for now. And so it was one thing to talk about family stuff, but I was really nervous about speaking with my mom and her parents about their experience of being Jewish, especially having been raised Catholic myself. So there really wasn't much that I didn't understand, at least on the head level. Um, but I was afraid of looking like a fool. How could I not really deeply understand these things? How could I have the questions that I had? But I make my mom feel like she had failed because I didn't know some stuff. Would she regret the decision that she made about allowing us to be raised Catholic or even converting to Catholicism herself? At the same time, I was excited about the prospect of getting to know more about a side of my life that I had little knowledge of. My grandparents lived in Florida while we were in Connecticut, so deep sharing was never a part of our time together. The prospect of getting to know my grandparents better was exciting beyond belief. Certainly, as a Catholic, as a Christian, I understood on an intellectual level that my faith finds its roots in Judaism, but the perspective isn't the same. What was it like being Jewish in America in the 1930s through the 1990s? What had changed? What was it like to be alive during World War II? What was it like for my grandfather to be a part of the translation team at the trials at Nuremberg? Honestly, I wasn't prepared for what I learned, and it pained me greatly. As my mother and her parents spoke of their experience of hatred and racism, my heart broke. But as they spoke of their pride in their faith and their people, my heart began to mend, and I learned what tenacity and persistence meant, the value of holding strong to one's faith. I began to appreciate that the U.S. is not really a melting pot, at least not immediately so. And honestly, we're more like ethnic stew, with each ethnic group being you know, I don't know, the potato, the carrot, the beef, whatever the item is in the stew. And that honestly, the systems that we have here, the laws that we have here, the traditions on the national level that we have here are really more, um, they're more the broth within the stew, I guess is the way to put it, right? And that helps us all to live together well, and we can kind of sort of flavor each other a little bit too, which is kind of cool. I also appreciate that the stew isn't perfect. We're a work in progress. There's still more to do before we can claim that we have succeeded in the American experience. But what I am really grateful for is having a little bit more knowledge about my grandparents' experience. Thank you.